Gosh. We're live.
Oh,
Hey there. Got a couple minutes left. We thought we'd click the on button now. So
Rich and I are just sitting here. We're kind of bored. We're ready to be with you guys.
yeah.
So,
Chris says, I wish everybody was just here. And I'm like, this is kind of a cramped quarters for that.
oh, yes, that's true. Not like here inside base camp, but
Yeah, here inside base camp would be.
here in camp.
Oh, hey, it's time to turn it on now.
Okay.
Okay.
Are we good?
We're good.
It's almost.
That's it. Okay. Is everything, can you guys hear it? Hey, hear us okay? I can't really tell. Somebody say we're all good. Loud and clear. All right, there we go.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so we wanted to do this live with you guys because there has been a lot of questions since we kind of did some switching around on motorcycles and all that stuff. And there's so many people out there that are asking these questions. So we reached out to our patrons, and our patrons gave us a whole list of stuff. So we're going to answer all of those questions. And then hopefully, when we get done with that, we're going to try to answer all your guys' questions. So anyways, if we don't answer all the questions, all this live, this chat is just, it's racing up and down here. So anyways.
Okay, so first question. This is from Denise Neal. She wants to know, how do you like your new bike? And what's the difference in comfort between the Hurley and the GSA?
Okay, so how do I like the new GSA, and what's the difference? That's the main question, the main part of it?
Yep.
Okay, first of all, these are two completely different riding styles. The Road Glide is a couch. I mean, it's awesome on the long trips. The GSA is big, and you're up on top of the bike. I really like the GSA, but for long trips, and we've done a couple of long trips, I really like the Road Glide when it comes to those long trips. So I think for what we're doing now, going off-road and getting back in the boondocking areas, it's really nice to be on that GSA to get out of the campgrounds that we've been going to and getting onto the asphalt.
The boondocking.
Yeah, from the boondocking spots. Yeah. There's been some places we've gone that the boondocking, there's no way I would have taken Miss Alice down that way for sure.
Yeah.
So two different riding styles. Love the Road Glide for long distance. GSA, we're going to be doing some long rides this summer, and we'll see just exactly how well it does.
Yes. And in case you don't know, we still have the Road Glide, and we have plans coming up soon to get her back into the shop and working again. So you're going to see her real soon, hopefully.
Yes, she is in storage at my mom's house in Arkansas right now. So she's not gone, and she will be coming back. Yep. We will be riding her again for sure.
Yep. All right. Anna Billick wants to know, she wants a comparison of base camp life of what we have now versus when we were pulling Ruby around.
Right. What's the difference?
What's the difference? What's the comparison? It's kind of a bigger camper. It's the biggest comparison. Yeah.
Really?
I mean, we kind of used Ruby, and we kind of did the tent too, in that we would set up a base camp. Because even the tent was big. We're not riders where we, for the most part, ride and camp and then get up the next morning and ride and camp and rinse and repeat. Mm-hmm. We kind of like to set up a base camp at least for a couple days of where we are and go out and explore.
Right.
And then close up shop and hit the road. And
so really the only difference between the two is the long distances, the straight road long distances, pulling a big heavy trailer behind my Harley. That's really the only thing that's different between the two. Otherwise, it's just a better base camp, better place to cook, more comfortable to kick back and relax in the evenings, for sure.
Yeah. We knew we needed, you can see we're not that young.
Yeah. I mean, well, somebody asked how old we are. So we want to tell them?
Yeah, I'm 60.
She's 60. I'm 56.
Got myself a young man.
I got a cougar.
Oh my gosh. All right, let's see. Let's move on. Curtis Carlson wants to know. He says, I always get super nervous when traveling if I don't have a site reserved for every night of the trip. Me too.
Yeah.
My question is,
does.
how do you manage the stress when you seem to be playing most nights by ear? A related question more generally, how do you find open campsites when on the road? Thanks. So,
Chris does a lot of the research, and then I kind of wing it for that much.
yeah.
So you answer that.
Yeah, out west, it's much easier if you don't have a campsite to just go on to iOverlander or freecampsites.net and find a boondocking spot. And that's kind of what we always love to do because, we're not that crazy about camping next to a lot of people.
Well, the RV resorts or RV places now are so compact. They're putting all of these RVs in really tight spaces, and we really don't want to. We really don't like camping like that. So being out west here, it's definitely easier to get into the boondocking spots. The question is how do we find them, or what do we do? So iOverlander, Campendium, BLM lands. I'll look on the Gaia GPS when I get to an area, and I'll pull it up. I'll pull up the Gaia map, and it shows me where the BLM areas are. It kind of gives it an idea of what's around, and then really we just go look for RVs. You see some RVs going up and down the road or off the side of the road, we'll pick a space, way away from them. That. So.
All right, let's see. Moving on. Gabe Rivera. He asked, has there ever been a point, honestly, when you thought about giving up? And do you encourage each other along the way? Or has the thought been settled long ago, no turning back?
Well,
I have to say, Richard has never, ever quit.
Yeah, I don't know how to quit.
I've quit a couple times.
Yes. It's hard to, yes, I encourage Chris I try to keep her upbeat and going on this, because it's kind of a roller coaster of emotions a lot. Yeah. And we come back to you guys. I come back and I'm reading, I'll read the comments, and everything's so positive. It's great. I mean, occasionally there's one rude person in there, but no, you can't please everybody, I guess.
It's all the positive comments that we get that really kind of lift us up and keep us going.
But as for, yes, we said it a long time ago that there's no turning back. I've always been known to jump in with both feet and not stop.
Yeah. And we're having too much fun. I mean, just to be able to explore and see the things that we have. It's been
for
awesome.
Sure.
All right, let's talk about Stephen Salens. Your GSs are pretty big bikes to be taking off road. How has it been? If you watched the last video.
If you watch the last video, you'll see that we threw them down on the ground a lot. And should we have gone on that road? Should we not have? I think if we would not have gone on that road, I would have kind of kicked myself for not knowing what it was. So now that we know what it is, we definitely know we need some training. We need training to get better at that.
Yes,
for sure.
Yes, for sure. Let's see. Mike Allen, we just bought our own base camp. We haven't picked it up yet, and I'm having withdrawals knowing I won't be riding all the time. I get the better comfort and out of the weather more. Have you felt any less free with the new system?
You do? You feel less free?
Yeah, I love being able to pack up and load everything on the motorcycles and hit the road and ride to the next spot, and then unload and then go explore. I just, I love the motorcycle riding. So I'm not a vehicle riding person.
She's not a very good passenger, not even in a truck.
No.
Is what it is. There's no.
So yes, I miss it.
She misses that. I don't miss hauling Ruby and all of that heavy gear in a wind, going down the road, up a hill. That was rough. Riding just on the bike, yeah, that's great, man. It's awesome, But really, this light or what we've changed to, like we've said, it's just excuse me. I don't know why that keeps going off. Where was I?
This life changing.
It's changed. It changed with us traveling, getting from point A to point B, and that's
Yes.
That's really the only thing. I don't mind. I'm driving, so it's something for me to
You're
do.
entertained.
Yeah.
I'm just sitting there going, oh, when am I
Yeah.
going to get there so we can ride motorcycles?
Yeah.
Let's see. Ken Warwa. I know boondocking has its advantages, being free, great views, but at what point does access to electricity, water, showers, etc. come into play regarding your decision on your place to stay? We
Well,
have solar, so it doesn't.
Yeah, I was going to
we
say,
have
first
electricity.
off, we have full electricity. I've got 4,800 watts of solar, of lithium battery in the back, a 2,000 watt inverter. We have 37 gallons of fresh water, 35-gallon black tank. So we can go a week to 7, 8, maybe 9 days if we really pushed it before the black tank is full. That's really what's gauging how far we do, is just is how much the black tank can handle. And it's 8 or 9 days max.
Mm-hmm.
So really it's a level spot. As long as we have a level spot, we can stay. It's all good. Oh, and the temperature's right. It can't get too cold. This is not a 4-season camper. It is definitely not a winter camper. So
yes. All right. John O'Boyle wants to know, how do we decide where to go next? Weather or curious nature? Actually, both.
Yeah. Right. This time of year, it's really weather.
Yes.
Like, we're going to leave where we are now because it's supposed to get a little chilly in the next few days, and we're going to head a little further south.
Yeah.
And
chilly,
then,
he means like down in the 20s at night.
Yes. So we're going to go down further south and get it warmer, and then we'll be good.
But generally, where we head is based on our curiosity. Like, oh, that sounds, that state sounds great.
Hold on a second. Mikey, we will be answering questions from you guys. We're just answering the Patreon questions first. So it's not a bummer. We'll get you all caught up.
Does he have a question? I'm sorry.
Well, I don't know. There's a lot of questions going through, and I'm
writing some down.
Yeah, Chris is writing them down. We're going through the Patreon ones first, and then we're going to get back on that. So,
okay.
Anyways, where were we?
All right. Why the dually truck? You guys aren't grossing enough weight to justify it. Is it towing stability you're looking for because of the bumper pull trailer? So you bought a big truck, Richard.
I did buy a big truck. 2 reasons why. One reason why I got the big truck is I wanted the dually because I knew the flatbed that we were going to have is big enough to hold 2 large bikes. So Chris's bike and Miss Alice, the Road Glide, or we could pull the Big Gsa. I wanted that wide footprint for that dually. Also, we don't know what's in the future. I know eventually we may get a bigger camper. We may have some property somewhere where I need to haul stuff. I just don't know. And I've always gone bigger is better. So I put it up, ordered the truck, or didn't order the truck, found the truck that fit our bill, which was a 1-ton 4x4, and it's been working perfect. As for stability with this camper is only 21 feet, 23 feet from the end of the bumper to the end of the hitch. With that being said, the truck and the trailer, when I turn a corner with the truck, the trailer literally stays in the truck's tracks. So I don't have hardly any tail swing. I can get around tight things. I can get around tight trees if I need to. And it fits for what we want. One of the other questions that was asked from us is, why didn't you get is that on the next one?
Next one.
That's the next one.
Well, people want to know why we didn't get a toy hauler.
Yeah, why didn't we get a toy hauler? So many people have asked. You should have got a toy hauler. You should have got this. Well, we looked at the toy haulers, and like I said with this one, it is very short. We could have gotten a short toy hauler, but with a short toy hauler means both of the bikes would be inside, basically in the living room. So if we needed to stop or came in really late into a camp spot, we would have to move the bikes out, set the bed up, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Now it's just park, level, flop the beds out, and we're in, and ready to go.
And we did look at those smaller toy haulers, and I didn't like the interior of them. They're a very utilitarian trailer.
The beds weren't very comfortable.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's why we did get this camper. And there was a lot of thought. On what we wanted, because we knew we were going to be putting the bikes on and off of a truck, but we wanted it short enough to where we could get into camp spots like Joshua Tree. Joshua Tree, there's one spot it said nothing over 24 feet combined.
Yeah.
The truck is 24 feet. So I think that's really the first campground we've seen that we wouldn't fit in. Otherwise, we'll be able to get in just about anywhere.
Yes.
On it. Yeah, go big or go home. True that. That's for sure.
All right. How do you deal with when you're not feeling well? Medicine, doctors, that kind of stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's real easy in this camper. If we're not feeling well, we just stay wherever where we are. As for medicine and doctors, we have a teledoc that we call if we need something. It's actually I'm
actually really
shocked because I absolutely love my teledoc. She's like amazing.
Yeah, Betsy's her name, right? Yeah, she's really cool.
She's awesome. She's cool.
Yeah.
So we lucked out with that. So that's kind of what we do.
And I had a massive allergy attack. Oh, I don't know, 2-3 days ago, and it knocked me down. And it was nice to be able to hunker down here in the camper for sure.
Yep. All right. What's the biggest pain in the neck chore that you have to do?
Sweeping. I don't know.
Richard's probably loading the bikes. Yeah. Mine is coming up with meals all the time. It's like, can't we just eat once a day? Yeah. Do we have to eat again?
Yeah, Chris, when she dies and goes to heaven, she's going to ask God, why 3 meals a day? But then again, you see how big she is, right? Okay. One of my biggest chores, and it makes me nervous, is getting those bikes up and down off the back of the truck. Yeah. Now, next question that comes out from everybody is, why the Big Gsas? Why the GSA? Why the Big Gs? Well, we originally planned on, and we still are, is planning on leaving base camp in an area. Like we could probably leave it here where we're at for a few days, take off, go somewhere in the mountains for 2 or 3 days with a small camp, and then be able to come back. Yeah. Now we'd close things up, get it secure. Yeah. By the way, we have security cameras, so things are as safe as they can be. Yeah.
What I think what Richard's saying is, and I'm really looking forward to it, is we're going to load everything. We're going to get a small tent, smaller than the first tent that we got, and load everything on the motorcycles and go and take off for how a lot of people do it, and then come back to home,
which is this, and it may be in a different location. So that's a great one.
Yeah.
So, anyways, what else? What else do we have? Anything else that's come through here? Man, we got somebody from Honduras. That's awesome.
3, 5, 8 years, what are your plans? If health suffers or one of you are injured or age or just don't wanna, what's the backup plan?
Backup plan? A plan B?
Yeah.
I don't have a plan B.
We'll figure it out.
I guess.
I am not. I don't see myself doing this when I'm 80 years old.
No.
That's why
we could be riding. We could be riding, but maybe not with a camper. We might have a house or something like that by then, but
we decided, we just told you how old we are. So we decided that now is the time to do it because physical strength goes as you age. I mean, it just happens. And so, I'm already kind of after the river road, was already feeling it, was schlepping that big old GS around on that dirt road and then falling all the time. So,
good Lord. Why is that?
Okay, let's see.
So he said, how do you deal with the truckload on the flatbed? Has to have enough room to combine space. And if you do, if you do save, how big it is. So the combined space of the truck, well, it's a 4-door pickup, 4-wheel drive, dually. That's a 9-foot bed. So I've got enough room to carry everything. We took the back seat out of the truck for extra storage. So we have all of our camping gear and all of our riding gear, including helmets, are stored in the truck.
Yes,
for sure.
Yep. All right, let's see what else. Oh, someone's upset at us because we didn't finish the Mississippi road.
Oh, man.
And we should have ended in Louisiana. Sorry. And yes, we are upset at ourselves for not being able to do that because we are really looking forward to making it all the way down.
We will make it back. We will make it back. We stopped in Chester. And really what stopped us was the temperature. It got hot and it stayed hot. Yeah. And, it's one thing living in a tent. And Ruby was just a glorified tent. Yeah. There's nowhere to get out of the weather. So when when it's cold, you can layer up, put a big sleeping bag on, and stay warm. But when it's hot, and you're in a campground or you're out in the middle of nowhere, they don't want to see you running around naked all the time. It doesn't cool you off.
Yeah.
You just can't do it.
Yeah. So yeah, we did give up before we got to the end of the Mississippi River Road. We have plans on going back there. We don't know if we're going to go back there with base camp or we're just going to go back there in a tent and blaze on down there and see what we
may do that on the tent with the Road Glide. I'm kind of thinking the Road Glide on that one. So that's for sure.
Right, so somebody had a question that I saw. What was the favorite part of the hill country ride?
Oh, I always love the sisters.
Yeah.
I think the sisters are just, the three sisters are just so much fun to ride. I could ride those all the time. They're great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm more of a sightseer. I mean, I probably would do really well as a passenger if I hadn't ridden motorcycles for so long that I can't stand when somebody's turning the way I don't think they should turn. But so I ride slower than Richard, so I'm not that much into curves because I'm always like, oh my gosh, did you see that longhorn? And oh my gosh, did you see that an elaborate opening to that ranch? And oh my gosh, did you see this?
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of a putter, and I kind of just like to look at the scenery and enjoy what we're riding by.
Yeah. So right. I see several people are asking about the Harley. So at the beginning of this, we did talk about the Harley, but just to let you know, the Harley will be coming back. It needs a rebuild. It needs some love and definitely needs some shocks. So I'm working. We had plans to get it done by this time last year, but unfortunately, Coach Jones, a friend of ours, passed away. So I just don't want to give this bike to anybody to break her open and rebuild it. I want to talk to him. I want to let them know how we feel about it. So, I need to check their skill level. My background is service. I used to be a regional service manager for 2 different manufacturers, owned service companies, all in commercial restaurant equipment and refrigeration. So I know how service should be done. And that's kind of where I'm struggling right now is all of the issues we've had, both with BMW and with Harley, has been at the dealer level. So I want to find somebody that I can trust. Yeah. That's the big thing is I really want to find somebody I can trust. So
if you know of anybody, because we're hoping in April to find somebody that we could get Miss Alice into, and she still has her extended warranty on her. So,
her extended warranty expires
in July.
So. It needs to be at a shop that has that so we can get anything warranty related, go ahead and take care of. She's got 95,000 miles on it.
Yep.
So.
Yep. All right. Let's see. Plans for next year. We take this kind of 1 year at a time.
Really.
But we are kind of thinking that at some point we'd love in the winter to make it down to Mexico.
We definitely want to get to Mexico next year. Yes. And we have an invite from a friend of ours, Christoph, that speaks fluent Spanish and French and several languages, and he's willing to guide us through there. Been there many a time, so we're looking forward to that. As for this summer, we will be at the Georgia BMW MOA rally, and we are going to the main national rally for BMW in Springfield, Missouri. So we are going to be at those 2 rallies, and then there may be something Four Corners or something. I don't think we're going to make it to the Northeast this year, but we'll see. Yeah.
So did you say the date for the Georgia rally? We're going to be speaking at May 6th through the 8th.
Okay.
And we're just riding the bikes there and tent camping. So actually that'll be our first.
Well, we'll stay in a hotel at that rally, and then on our way back we're tent camping. Yes. So we'll be in Georgia at the Georgia rally, and they asked us to speak about the stuff we're doing right now. So it'll be our first time, and we don't know what we're doing.
Okay. So. Somebody had asked earlier what my career was. I was an accountant.
Yeah.
This what we're doing now is way out of my wheelhouse.
Yes. And like I said, I was a technician, service manager, regional technical manager for manufacturers. So I've been
questions because people are telling us
giving us some
to talk to about getting Miss Alice fixed.
Yeah, so the house in Milwaukee, Asheboro, Cox at Harley Davidson in Asheville.
I'm making notes here.
Asheboro, North Carolina, actually. Guadalupe Peak. Let's see. Anyways,
All right.
there's several. I'm sure we can go back through these,
Okay. All right. So that was the end of our questions. What do you guys have for us that we haven't already seen, or we might have missed some?
Okay. The question is, what do you do for health insurance, if anything? If I'm on the road having a heck of a time, finding a reputable company, recommendations.
Okay. We have an accident policy. We've never had to use it,
Mm-hmm.
but it covers, if anything happens to us, we do have that. And then our regular health insurance is through the Affordable Care Act that we signed up with an agent who's a.
So the first insurance you talked about is like say cut a finger off. They pay you so much for the loss of finger. So it's basically covers the gap of the deductible. Wildcat, Hurley in Kentucky. All right.
Making a note.
What is the cost comparison to running the Hurley versus the B&W? Thought to switch it to B&W. Honestly, we don't have that yet.
Mm-hmm.
We have had issues with Chris's bike. Two things. One, on a video that you'll see this Sunday, she had an error code in it that we took it into the shop to get reset. It just needed to be reset. It had to do with the tip over switch. And also the cantilever shock failed. That failed, and that was fixed when we were in Phoenix. So that's coming up in an upcoming episode, but everything's fixed on it. If we had to pay out of pocket for that shock, it was going to be over $2,000. Mm-hmm. So far, it's been warranty. Only thing that we've had to do is general maintenance and tires. And by the way, the tires that Chris has that she got at the last year's BMW MOA rally was the Dunlop Trail Max Missions. And she's got 17,000 miles on these tires, and there's still a lot of meat left on them. Mm-hmm. I went ahead and got some on the GSA also.
All right. How did bikes enter your lives? Who was first, and how did the other?
Who was get involved? Well, motorcycles were in both of our lives. I was a sophomore in high school and rode a 68 Triumph chopper to school and had dirt bikes. Chris was raised with dirt bikes. Yep. So we both had bikes. In fact, when I met Chris in New Mexico, okay, I see her rolling into the apartment complex. We lived in the same apartment complex, you guys. And she lived just diagonally across from me. And I saw her roll in her Camaro Z28, get out of her little business suit and her little briefcase, and goes up to her apartment. She comes out in full leathers with a 357 strapped on her hips and gets on her motorcycle and goes out for a ride. I told my roommate that day that girl was mine. And here it is 32 years later. It's true. It's true.
The 357 was just for protection.
Yes. Yes. Oh, of course it is. Yep.
All right. So somebody had asked, what animal has scared you the most? We had a couple animals run in front of us, deer, dog.
Deer in front of you, which really scared the heck out of me.
Yeah, I think the most was the mouse.
The mouse?
Yes.
The one under here?
No, the mouse when we were in Ruby.
Oh.
We had a mouse problem when we were camping Rock Bar. And so
there were so many
mice there. And so we had set up a trap, and I didn't get this on video. I was disappointed, but I heard it snap. And so I went out there and I looked, and this silly little mouse had tripped the trap, didn't kill him, didn't hurt him at all.
It must have just grazed him or something.
He flipped the trap over, and he was sitting there eating the wood.
Literally had it in his hands and was eating it. Couldn't get it, scared him off. He dropped it. It was just too much, too crazy.
I know. I don't like mice. They scamper.
Yes, I agree, Toby. Best meetup story ever. Awesome.
All right. Someone had just asked, what would you do different if you started over again? No, you know what? I am so glad the way we started, because initially, if you followed us, we were going to start out in a really big fifth wheel. There's nothing wrong with them at all.
We planned on a big 48-foot Grand Design, you name it, biggest.
But I am so happy that we started out in the tent, because it was such an awesome experience that I look back on it with such fondness now. And then it was a progression to just go from the tent, and then we're like, well, I think we need to get a camper.
get a little more comfortable,
Yeah.
you know, to go into Ruby. We got up off the ground, and then now we're like, okay, we don't want a big one because there's so many like Army Corps of Engineers sites that you can't get a big rig in.
Yes.
So we're like, okay, we want something small. We want something small and compact.
Yes.
And in this camper, it's a, I guess we should tell you what it is. I haven't told you that. It is a Flagstaff hybrid camper by a Shamrock. So it's got two, basically like a pop-up tent, 2 beds, queen size beds fold out. Well, also the whole left side expands. So it's 11 feet from wall to wall inside this camper. Everything under the shell is all living space. So it's really worked out well, and it's so compact.
Yes.
So when I say small footprint, I'm thinking of small footprint, not of how big both the unit is, not how much fuel I'm burning.
Yes. Yeah. And this also gives us the ability to
yes, we have thought. I'm sorry, I was reading a camera. Have you guys thought of taking an off-road class? Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Especially after going that river road. We definitely need some riding classes.
They're full.
Yeah.
They're kind of a little out of our price range right now. So but there is on YouTube, his name is Brett Tax.
Yes.
Brett Tax.
He's good.
He is amazing. And so we have been watching him, and we've learned a lot of tricks and tips from him.
Yes.
So YouTube, buddy.
Yeah. I would consider a toy hauler eventually, but for what we're doing right now, if we had a toy hauler or even a regular longer travel trailer, I would want one with a separate garage so I wouldn't have to take the bikes out to go to bed. That's the big thing, you know. Yeah, I agree with you, Otto.
It'd be nice. Okay, so somebody just asked, are we going to do more off-road? You know, I think it's going to be hit and miss. We've done, because there's so much dirt out here, out in the West, that it's awesome to be riding on pavement and see something cool off in the distance and be able to just peel off and go to it versus like, oh, well, we can't go there, or should we not go there? And so it is cool. We will not do the type of riding we did on the river road,
like 4x4 only roads. It's going to be going to be a, you know, a forest road from a campground or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't want to be throwing these bikes on the ground as hard as we did without getting proper training on them. So anyways, that's where. And then Jerry's asking, which we need to answer also, why did you get gas instead of diesel? First of all, I think the payback between a gas and a diesel, unless you're planning on driving that thing over 300,000 miles, I don't think you're going to get your money back on a diesel. Filters are more expensive, fuel filters, oil changes, all of those things are much more expensive. Gas is more expensive. Yes, you get better mileage, but when you're pulling and hauling, you get pretty close. If I keep it under 65 miles an hour, I can get 8 to 10 miles to the gallon. Lately, it's about 7. So because of the hills, and I don't know if it's gas or what, but we've also been on interstate, so going a lot faster. But anyways, we have the gas changing an oil. I can change the oil on spot somewhere for $84. You know, buy something synthetic oil and be done with it. And that's really what it is.
Okay, so we have a lot. Let's see. Have we had any run-ins with coyotes? Yes, we had a whole pack of coyotes like surround our camper. So when we were at Box Bar, they were out howling and yelling. So what did Chris do?
She runs outside, grabs the camera.
Ran outside. I'm like, hey. And then they all left.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about coyotes.
We haven't had any run-ins with any critters that are dangerous. You know, no bears, we haven't even seen a bear.
No.
In the 2 years we've been traveling.
Yeah.
You know, and even prior to that, going to Montana, we never did, you know, so.
All right. Someone wants to know about road protection, tasers, guns. You know, I have to say that the media is overrated, and we have met the most awesome salt of the earth people in traveling these 2 years on the road. And we have never felt that we were in a situation where we felt uncomfortable.
Not at all.
At all. I mean, it's just been amazing. We do avoid major cities. I mean, we just don't like riding through them on motorcycles.
Yeah.
There's not that many people that do. So.
All right. So to answer your question, we don't have any tasers.
No. No.
I'll leave it at that.
All right.
But we do have security. Like I said, we have internet that's here, and 90% of the time we're connected to the internet, to cell towers, and we have cameras. So we are somewhat protected that way, and we do have personal protection.
Has gas prices slowed you down? Not really.
Well, it's made us think.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like we thought about leaving where we are now and going to this other place, and I did a little math, and I'm like, okay, it's going to cost us $50-$75 to move. Okay, let's get out of here because there's going to be wind.
Basically we park the truck, take the bikes off, and then we do almost everything on the bikes, so they get better gas mileage than the truck. That's for sure. Yeah. All right. What do our kids think? At first, they thought we were crazy.
Yeah, they thought we were all
and
nuts.
then they took bets on how long we'd last.
Yes.
And now I think they kind of just think, well, that's just mom and dad.
Yeah. Now they just know that this is who we are. We've always been kind of gypsy anyways. Yes. So
have we ever been robbed? Nope.
Never been robbed.
Nope.
None of that.
We can look kind of mean
at
times.
Yeah.
Like, don't mess with us.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a Texas license plates.
Yeah.
Don't mess with Texas.
I guess so. I guess that's what it is. Yeah. Are you guys have any major issues with the Shamrock? No major issues, but I do go around and tighten up bolts and tighten up some things. So with that said, our freshwater tank had a little teeny tiny crack in it. I did fix it, and it's under warranty, and they are replacing it when we get to Dallas this summer. So I've got it temporarily fixed, and it's all good.
Yep.
So
he likes to cook more.
Yeah, I'm definitely the cook. I definitely like cooking more. Chris is a great cook. But I do enjoy cooking, and I come from the restaurant industry, so I picked up a lot from the chefs that I've met, and I do enjoy cooking and doing that kind of stuff. So
tires,
how often? Well, if they're factory tires, you're going to replace them in 6,000 miles.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
I don't care what.
Motorcycle.
Yeah. Your tires, we've replaced once.
Yep.
I've had 4 sets of Michelins on Miss Alice, but I'll get 15 to 18,000 miles on them. 13 when we were pulling the trailer.
Yep.
So that was pretty good. The camper, I immediately took the old Chinese tires off, the original Chinese tires off of this trailer, and I put some Goodyears on it, Goodyear trailer tires, and got it. Marcy's asking, do we use a Wi-Fi booster? We have a whole Wi-Fi system that we're going to be talking about here once I get all the links and stuff together. They've given us this Wi-Fi system. Basically it's a marine box. It has 2 SIM cards, and whichever signal is strongest, it goes to that. And it's 200 gigs. 400 gigs per month for $189 a month. That's been the best deal, and we've never run out of internet. And if I have 1 bar Verizon, I can stream live movies all night long. We can. So are we going back to Sturgis this year? No, we probably won't make it back to Sturgis this year. It's Sturgis. I've done it twice. Chris is not a big fan of the crowds, and I
love the roads. I mean,
the road, we may make it to the Sturgis area, but not during the rally.
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah. To be able to ride those roads without those motorcycles, would be amazing.
That's really, it's really cool when you do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Rich, how did you lose your weight? I have had the gastric sleeve. So I struggled for years with my weight. I was up to 356 pounds before I finally gave in and got the gastric sleeve. Now, that's just, so anybody listening, that's just a tool. It's not an end all, because your weight can go right back up with that. So it's still a struggle daily that I've got to go through, and it helps having something to remind me that you're eating too much. Don't do that,
And that we're more active. I mean, this lifestyle.
Way more active.
Yeah.
You dumb old fool. Yeah, we're gonna do that. I only say that because he says dumb old fool. I see.
What?
Dumb old fool.
Okay.
I'm not calling somebody a dumb old
Oh,
foo.
okay.
I will do a full review. We've actually been using the heck out of that Blue Eddy solar, and I want to tell you about the solar panel and the Blue Eddy. Now that we've used it, it's done. It's really good.
It. Yes.
We do love it. It's
Yes.
a thumbs up on that one for sure.
Yes.
And we'll keep it up. Thanks, Gilbert. Awesome.
How'd you come up with the name Base Camp instead of giving the camper an Irish nickname? Oh, that's a good one. I guess just because I hadn't thought about that, but Base Camp was just kind of like, let's go back to base camp. I mean, that's how we have treated everything.
Everything,
yeah. Always been our base camp, our home base, I guess.
Yes, Danny, that is my cousin, Mark and Trish. Mark is my cousin at KYD. He is. Mark Leach, KYD.
All right.
What else?
I think we're getting to the end of our questions, you guys.
I know. Are you going to make it back to Sutchess, Georgia? Well, we're going to be in Hiawassee. Isn't that how you pronounce it?
I think
we're going to be there, and maybe on the way back, we'll make it to Sutchess and make it back over to Two Wheels. That's where that camp place was that we went to.
Yep.
Oh, yes. I did consider the Pan American before I got the BMW. Okay, so here's...
You rode it.
I rode it at Sturgis. I did like it. It has a lot of power. It is a really cool bike. Like I've mentioned before, I'm from the service background, and there were a few things that I saw on that bike. And remember now, it was the very first year. Few things I saw on the bike that I knew were going to have issues. The radiator line was going really, I mean, it was within 1/4 of an inch or less of the exhaust manifold. And the battery is in a weird place. So I didn't want to get the first year, and I watched on Cycle Trader. I put on Cycle Trader, my criteria. I wanted a 2020 so we could keep the parts the same. If I am going to get a BMW, use the same controllers and all that kind of stuff. And I had an alert on Cycle Trader. This GSA came up. I was the first one that called, and it was priced to sell, and it was. I just bought it. It just fell into place. So we got it. If we would have waited a little longer and maybe the next Pan American, maybe in the future, I don't know. But right now it's, we're liking what we have, and we're definitely going to be bringing Miss Alice back eventually when we're doing our local trips, I can say.
Yep.
Something like that.
All right. So somebody wants to know about our comms and our helmets.
Oh, those are Sena 10C Pro. They're a couple years old now, and I'll give you an honest review on those right now. The audio quality is fantastic, and communication between Chris and I are fantastic. Over, I would say, a ½ mile distance that they'll work. As for the camera's not the best. If the sun hits it, it blows it out or turns everything orange or blue. The camera itself is not the best, but the communication is fantastic.
That's the main reason we use it for.
Yeah, and you had an issue with yours once, and they swapped it out, gave us a new one. So no problem.
No questions asked.
Right.
Yeah. Somebody said that they would like to see the inside of Ruby more. No, I'm sorry, the inside of Base Camp more. Now let me share with you our struggle. When we made the switch from basically tent camping, which was also Ruby, to the trailer, we did not want to become just another RV travel channel.
No,
and so we really
don't want to do that.
Held ourselves back from really showcasing much of the happenings that's going around here. And if you all feel like, we would love input from you guys as to what you guys think.
You guys that are here right now are really the ones we want to talk to every time we put a video out. You guys are the ones that are here and with us when we're doing these lives and doing these things. There's 30,000 subscribers, but not everybody is here right now with us. So yeah, we really love that,
So we don't really know what to do, because we our main focus is always going to be motorcycles.
Always
because that's what we love. But if you want to see some more everyday life of what we're doing around the camp, we can certainly include that.
Kendall Adams, yes, I just purchased the GS911 diagnostic tool, so I do have it. I have not used it yet, so
it would have come in handy after the river road.
Oh, good question, Anthony. He would love to know how much time you spend on the post processing. This is a full-time job. Just so it's not just throw it together. When it takes 2 to 3 days for me to just sit down and do the hard edit work, but Chris spends 2 or 3 days just organizing it, and then you got videoing it. So anybody that has traveled with us, there's been a few that travel that have hooked up with us and traveled, and we're like, hey, this is going to take 5 times longer than what you expect, because we're going to stop, we got to set up cameras, we got to turn around, we got to go back. And usually they don't want to ride with us after that. After a while they're thinking, hey, this will be so cool, and then wow, they do a lot of stopping, they do a lot of stopping on that. So
Oh, we try not to, but
yeah.
still, it's you do what you love, and right now we're doing what we love. So yes, it
Mhm.
takes an investment of our time.
Yeah.
We're trying to put out the best videos that we
Mhm.
can produce.
Yeah.
We're amateurs at this, so but yeah, it takes some of our time.
Yep.
What cameras do we use? We have a GoPro 5 that we rarely use because it's very unstable.
It's bouncy, and
We have a GoPro 7. We have a GoPro 9.
Chris thinks is possessed.
It is possessed.
The GoPro 7 is actually the best camera we have.
Yes. If you're ever going to buy a GoPro, get the 7
The
Black.
7 Black is pretty has been very, very, very reliable, and I've heard horror stories on both. Amanda Zito had issues with her 7 and hates it. But anyways, we hadn't.
Yeah. And we have a camera, but we don't use it.
DSLR.
I'm challenged, and it just wasn't working out well. So
Yeah.
we stick mainly to GoPros is how we're recording.
Right.
Oh, and a 360.
Yeah, the Insta360 camera. That's how we get those moving shots where you see moving on the wheel and up to me and back and forth. And there was a question I went through there. I use Premiere Pro. I've got you're there at the beginning of this video, at the beginning of this live. I jump in with both feet. So I went and got the Premiere Pro whole suite. So I've got Premiere Pro, I've got Photoshop, I've got After Effects, I've got all of the suites on it. So I could basically do just about anything that a major movie production could do. I just need to learn how to do it. And that's the key. I've gotten a little faster on our edits, but
All right, so someone wants to know, will you change the shaft drive gear oil yourself?
I will once it's out of warranty. I'm going to be doing everything myself on it for sure. So
yes. All right, generator. Someone wants to know. We do rely mainly on solar, but on the days when it's rainy or cloudy or whatever, we have a generator.
Really, we can go 2 full days without any sun before the batteries are completely depleted. We have 4,800 watts of solar battery. But a lot of people don't realize just how much we're on a MacBook Pros, and just how much MacBook Pros pull. These 2 computers running full blast when I'm editing, I'll pull anywhere from 70 to 90 watts just on these 2 computers that we have. So
yep. So someone talked about food, best food on our journey, and how often do we eat out? So think about this. For most of you, you're sitting in your house and you probably don't eat out a lot. You cook most of your meals at home, and that's the cheapest and most inexpensive way to do it. And so that's how we've always approached this, even when we were tenting or in Ruby, is those were our homes, and this is our home. So we don't eat out a lot. And unfortunately, the few times that we ventured out, like we're going to go, this restaurant was recommended. We're going to go there. We're going to show it to you guys, because I know a lot of people love to ride to restaurants and we do, have done that before. And unfortunately, sometimes it doesn't work out, and we're like, well, we can't show that because it wasn't that good.
Yeah, or you just pull in and it's bar food. I mean, it's bar food. And I used to travel a lot for work. I was gone 4 to 5 days a week for several years. And when you're out in the restaurant industry and in the restaurants, it all begins to kind of mull together and kind of taste the same after a while. And it's, that's just my opinion. So I like cooking at home.
Yes.
Dean asked, is there laundry in the trailer? No, there's no laundry in the trailer. We go to laundromats and get it all done in 45 minutes.
Yes.
Hopefully.
In and out.
In and out.
It's the way to do it. Someone wanted to know, we're going to have an Alaska trip. Yep. It's on the bucket list. So many places on the bucket list that, it's definitely on the bucket list. Sure.
Yeah. It's not the greenest in the world. It is pull some energy. That's for sure. Okay, what do you are you guys actually camping when you post videos on YouTube? Me and my family watch you guys all the time and our riders also.
Yeah.
Yes.
We camp all the time. I mean,
Hey,
this is our
we
house.
are right now. I wish I could show you out. Well, I wonder if the lights are dimmed out. Oh, we don't. I got it closed. Sorry, but it's we're camping now. We're kind of in a gully right now.
Yeah.
Kind of up on a high spot. So there we are.
Yeah.
You know. So.
All right. Somebody wanted to know about wedding bands.
Oh, wedding bands.
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, you should see my ring that I have. It's really obnoxious, isn't it?
What ring?
My wedding ring.
Oh, yeah.
It's a big old fat nugget. It's a big old gaudy thing. We got married in 1989, and I thought that was cool. My dad has a 1 ounce nugget ring that he gave me when he passed away. That's, I kid you not, it's this big with a diamond in it, and it's just huge. And remember me saying I was a service guy. I climbed ladders. I did refrigeration and everything. And the last thing you want is something to pull your finger off getting caught. So I never wore a ring at all. And Chris's ring, the ring we got her, is really pretty. It's got a nice diamond on it, and it's kind of frail looking. And it looks like it's going to fall off and break. So we've got them in safety deposit box right now.
Oh, so confession time. I am not a girly girl. I keep my fingernails cut short. I'm not a jewelry person. So
she doesn't even have a purse. She's got like a little pouch like this. That's it. She doesn't like to go shopping either.
It's easy. Yes.
How about that?
We'd love to go to the Florida Keys. Let me tell you, the East Coast in Florida, for me, it's a tough nut to crack because there's not a lot of boondocking. I'm not for sure about the riding, like in Florida. I mean, like the riding, just to get on the road and tear it up. And
there is some good places. I don't know about corners in Florida, but there are some real good places to go. You know, there's real good places to go in Florida, but it's so expensive right now, and it's hard to find boondocking spots. That's really our big thing. Yes, you know. And yes, I have Wendy. We do watch Itchy Boots. We just love her. She's just I would love to meet her. She just seems like such a sweetheart. Just a sweetheart.
Yes. Yeah. And someone said base camp handles storms a lot better than Ruby.
Yeah, we haven't been any big winds. There's supposed to be big wind here in the next 20 minutes here, but we haven't had anything really big yet. Yeah, you know?
But it's solid. I don't think Richard will be staking this camper down to the ground.
Doug Bucky, remember him? We met him at Devil's Tower. He had the 09 Street Glide.
Oh, yeah. Hi, Doug.
All right.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Yeah. And we want to go to Canada. Yeah.
Those are on our bucket list. It's just, there's been a pandemic going on and everything going crazy, especially up in Canada. I pray for them. And right now we have plenty to do here in the United States. That's for sure.
Yes. There's a lot of states we haven't saw.
Yeah.
All right. We'll keep you posted on where we're traveling to next.
Yeah.
Love you guys.
Thanks for
joining us tonight.
Thanks. Take care.
Bye.
We'll see you.